Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the UK SA's Better Racing League. Today we have the World Cup event. You can see 3 people already in the Twitch stream. Welcome, everybody. Today we have a evening full of racing. I am going to be your commentator. I am Lewis Edwards. These are my socials. If you want to drop me a follow or anything, that'd be most appreciated. So I'll give you guys a quick second to take note of those. I'm going straight into the format. This is what we've got for you tonight. We've got 6 group games and 1 grand final of the best 2 teams at 10 p.m. UK time, hopefully. If all goes according to plan and according to schedule, that is what we're going to have. Now, the way this works is the team on the left, as in football on the scoreboards, is the home team. And when you're the air quotes home team, it's at a track based on the nation or nations where you are from. The home tracks have been nominated by each team before the stream, so you can only have one home track as well. That one's really for Europe and Americas, because in England we only have Silverstone, which is why the others have to pick just one track that they want. Europe decided to go for Barcelona, and America's decided to go for Interlagos in Brazil. So the first match will be getting underway very shortly, and that will be Team Europe versus Team England at Barcelona in hopefully not very long. So as a bit of a prediction wise, I'm going to bring up the driver lineup to explain my predictions. As you can see, we're going to have 4 people racing, and the 5th column of drivers is the reserves. And the way that the race works is there's no qualifying, but it will go in reverse championship order based on the previous season, which finished last week, so it's fairly up to date with who's quick and who's extremely quick. And I have to say, based on extremely quick, we're going to be looking at Team Americas with Fred Nolasco and Dirt Shark, those 2 being the highest seeds from the world ranking, which is effectively our last season's championship order. They finished 2nd and 3rd, and they're all on the same team, so they're going to be starting from the back. And I believe also captains are starting from the back, I have been informed. So I'm just going to read the message that I've been sent just to make sure that is correct. I believe I'm seeing it's going to be 5v5 actually, if we get enough drivers in. So hopefully it will be a 5 versus 5 for this, but I will let you know as soon as possible on that one. But we've got the teams. These are definitely the teams that are going to be going down today. And I believe captains will start last. So anyway, I think I read it in the Discord chat. That's where I read it. But I believe people are starting to ready up now. So hopefully we'll get underway for the first race at Barcelona. So we will see if, yep, the session is, the countdown has begun. We are going to get underway. The car performance is on equal because we are in the multiplayer car today. So that's how you're going to be able to tell the nations apart. They've each got their own color scheme, which you'll be able to spot nice and easily. I imagine Europe is going for the blue and the gold as the European flag is, and England, yeah, it's going to copy the flag. And Team Americas, I think they're saying that they're going to combine the colours of their flag with the white, the red, the blue, the yellow and the green somehow, as it does incorporate both Brazil and America, which is where all of their drivers come from one of those two nations. But we're going to get into Barcelona. I believe it's a 4 versus 4, if I can count correctly, as everybody else has gone into spectator mode to watch through the race. They're going to be getting some research in. So it's really going to be Team Americas that are going to be spying on the others, if you like, watching along to see what happens for their next game against England after this one, which will take place at Silverstone. I'll just be taking notes of maybe who can go longer on their tyres, because they will have to stop once to exchange their set of tyres. There's quite a scope for which lap you want to pit on, and as there's no qualifying, I believe tyre choice is free, so you can pick whatever you like. If you're maybe a Fred Nolasco or a Dirt Shark, you've got some confidence, you might choose to pick the slower medium tyre to start the race on, as it might get that tyre out of the way while you're trying to negotiate traffic, or maybe you want to have the quicker tyre to negotiate the traffic better. Either way, we'll find out very shortly, as we are now going to hop over to the racing scene. As there's 4 seconds left on the timer, it's time to get some racing underway. And here we go. The lights are on already. No formation lap today. And away they go. Down to turn 1. It's a good start from Mathieu Perez. Is Heppy going to be looking up the inside of Emilio? Yes! And ooh, somebody tried to follow him through there. All looking very clean so far, but it's definitely advantage Europe at the moment. The captains are still at the back, taking it easy. No major overtaking manoeuvres being made yet. That's a little bit wide there for Mathieu Perez, as Heppy is on the back of him now. See further back, we've got Barks and Brooks scrapping a bit. Is Barks going to let Brook go past? I think he is. I'm a big fan of this England livery though. This looks very nice. And Brooks really driving quite nicely in this middle sector. But it's, ooh, he's having a look at Graham, who has gone for that medium tyre that we were talking about earlier. We're going to put that up on your screen right now, so you can see exactly what's going on a bit better. Oh, and it's a mistake from Graham, and that's going to allow Brook through. Deepover's trying to go around the outside, and then Zabijac is trying to get involved with him a bit further back. Mathieu Perez sets the fastest lap. These are where the close gaps are. Unless Brook can send something up the inside of Emilio, but it looks like he's too far back to do so at the moment. But Deepover might be able to look it. Not quite up the inside, but he's forced Graham into a bit of a lock-up there. This is where the tyres will have a bit of an advantage, but will the dirty air affect him a bit too much? We're going to find out, as Brook is actually right up behind Emilio. Up the inside here is an option. Emilio was quite good on the brakes there, so the option wasn't quite there, but Brook got a really good traction. He's using his overtake, he's up the inside, and he's got the move done, and that's up to third place for Brook, but he has lost a fair bit of time to Heppy and Mathieu Perez up in first, so he's going to have to be a man on a mission, and is Emilio going to be looking to get back at him? He really has drained his battery, trying to stay up at the front at the sharp end. It's down to 30% already. I think Deepover has now passed Graham now, and is Zabijac going to be looking at the back of Graham? It looks like this medium tyre strategy is not the one at the moment, as the tyre delta seems to be huge, or Graham is just lacking in race pace. I have a feeling it might be to do with the tyre delta, as it is quite a sizable, from my experience, it's a sizable disadvantage between the tyres. Heppy's getting closer, he's edging forward 10th by 10th. The dirty air isn't quite as prominent as real life in the game. I think the figures are something like, and something about 0.35 is the coefficient of dirty air if it was realistic, and 0.15 is what we have in the game, but there's definitely less dirty air. There's a YouTuber called Alex Gillen who investigated this, and that's where I'm getting the numbers from, as he tried to recreate realistic dirty air. I think that looked like some kind of team orders going on here. Is Emilio ran wide, or is he letting Graham through? It's not looking so great for Team Europe anymore. Yeah, I think something may have happened to Barks here, I'm not so sure. Or did they just dispatch of him earlier? Either way, Brook is a man on a mission here. He's set the fastest lap of the race, I believe. And he's going to be looking to pass Heppy. He's also looking on Mathieu Peretz, and he's lost his wing. And Mathieu Peretz is off the track. They're both off the track. So chaos into turn one. I think Heppy's struggling with his front wing now. At Spain, you really do feel the effects of that broken front wing on a downforce heavy track such as this. I think he may also potentially be slapped with a penalty for that incident, I think. But who can capitalise on this? And is this going to make a difference when we come to the pit stops? We need to find out what kind of the delta is exactly on pace. Oh, he's got a bit squirrely on the curb, and that's wide, and that's allowed deep over through. Probably a little bit of team orders there. He's probably just chose to let him go, as the front wing damage will not be helping him here. I reckon it's a little bit too early to pit for a set of medium tyres at the end of the lap 4. The gaps are beginning to open out now. It's Graham on the back of Emilio. Emilio goes defensive. Is this... yeah, that's some kind of team orders there. Nice bit of late braking from Graham there as well. And away he goes. So, oh, Brook has a penalty of some sort. That's not flashed up at the bottom of the screen. And it hasn't for Emilio either, but they are corner cutting penalties, I believe. Let's check the race director. Yes, it's 2 time penalties for corner cutting incidents. Ah, there we go. The race controllers decided to work again. But it won't affect Brook at the moment. Now DRS enabled. I think this move's going to be tricky to defend from, especially with 3% ERS. Deepover's just going to fly past because he's got ERS to play with, and he's used that energy down the straight there to boost him into second place. The captain for Team GB, Team England, is on his way. It's been a solid drive from Mathieu Peretz so far in this race, however. So we're nearing the midpoint of the race now. I think it's a bit too early to trigger a pit stop now. Oh, that's a bit of a lock-up. Made the corner. I think ideally the soft tyre runners will want to take those soft tyres a long way, as actually Barks has come into the pits. So maybe he's trying something. He just doesn't have a very smooth driving style. And this just shows how much practice I haven't done around racing here. As 3 drivers decide it's now time to pit. Now is that Alpha? The Alpha's been held. The Alpha's been held a lot there Is that not the Alpha? It just looks like it in the colours. That's Brook has been held. That'll certainly have eaten into his advantage. And Mati Peretz is now 2.8 seconds behind. We're just going a bit deep out of the pit lane. Not ideal. So it's looking good for Deepover and Brook at the moment, albeit with Brook's difficulty with the pit lane. I think they should be on for first and second position at the moment, which I believe will score Team GB the most points. Gonna have to do some adding up at the end of this to try and figure out who has all of the points. Might need to get the notepad out to try and keep track of it and keep you guys and girls updated on where everybody is. As people are battling for the pits, that's quite a slow pit entry from Emilio there. Very early on the pit limiter. As Brook goes past, but there's nobody else coming into the pits. So Emilio's going to filter out behind Happy. How about Barks? I wonder if Barks has played a little bit of a blinder here. As he's passed. So I don't know whether Emilio's had a bit of an issue on that lap. It seems like Barks has just played a bit of a blinder with the undercut and just got into some clear air and just set a couple of consistent lap times, and it's really pushed him along nicely, which is good news for the rest of Team England. As I think that's Deepover carrying on for another lap. I believe Zabi Jacket has come into the pits. He's had enough of his soft tyres. The Red Bull driver from Season 2 ended up with some impressive lap times. I think he may have taken a fastest lap or two from the end of the season. Just got caught up in a few too many incidents throughout the season now. Brook has already gone past. And Peretz has gone past, but not by much, so he's made the overcut work. It really is a case of clear air, I think, trumps traffic rather than undercutting or overcutting. If you've got more pace than the people you're racing, just doing whatever they don't do and getting yourself in clear air seems to be the way to go. But I think Deepover's really in a good position now, as he's still on those tyres. He's just cruising it out and extending as long as he wants so that his medium tyres are nice and fresh. And I had a feeling he was going to pit on this lap, and he has. He's bailed for the pits. Now Heppy's dropped behind Zabi, but I think he's repaired his front wing now. In fact, Zabi's got into that battle quite nicely, actually. So Graham has gone past, and actually Brook's gone past, so he did set some good laps after, and getting held in the pit lane didn't seem to hinder him whatsoever. We've got a yellow flag. Is that Emilio? Yes, it is. Not quite the race he would have wanted, but at least he's going to score a point. I believe we're going for 8 points for first, down to 1 point for 8th. Actually, we're going to join this battle between Happy and Zabi Jaka, as Happy is looking to get back up the order now. I think he's got a full front wing now. because he's probably repaired it. Ooh, Zabi's gone a little bit deep there. But he's also closing into DRS of the T-Perettes, which is not good news for Heppy, as he's probably hoping for a comfortable straight line pass, which he's not going to get if Zabi's in the DRS. Unless he's got no ERS, but he's got more. I would think he may have been out of DRS just there. Now Graham comes to the pits. Where's he going? He's not going to filter out very high up, so he's going to have a lot of work to do. But if the delta between the tyres is anything to go by, he's going to have to catch at a vast rate of knots to catch up to these guys. But we'll see what he can do. There's no point trying to rule anyone out at this stage. I wonder if there's going to be some team orders at Team Europe here to try and get Zabi ahead. Might just help him out a little bit. Doesn't look like it. T-Perettes is going to break the slipstream there. So he doesn't want to play the team game. But Deepover has actually got inside that 3-second window of Brook now. So he is looking to take the win. Not that it matters, as either way it's a win for Team GB, Team England. Is Heppy close enough with just the slipstream? He's gaining, but not quite enough. Gets a sweet line through the first part of the lap. We've got about 6 laps left to go now. I think Emilio has spun at the final chicane there. Or just caught up on the curve in half spun. I just saw a yellow on the mini-map. This battle's really compacting now. The gap's 0.3 between each car. Zabi's surely going to be having a look up the inside here though. He's so close, he's already up the inside. Can he get it stopped? No, he can't. This is surely going to allow Heppy. Oh, the side by side. He left him room, but not a lot. Now he's back up the inside. They're side by side. And Heppy gets through. Surely now he's going to be looking at getting the DRS past T-Perettes. He's not got a brilliant exit. Ah, but the DRS is powerful. Can he get around the outside? Not quite. He's very close though. This would secure a 1-2-3 finish for Team England. That would be a huge statement of intent. Ooh, bit of a lock-up. Is he going for a move up the inside here? No, he faked it a little bit to try and get a lock-up, but T-Perettes handled the pressure there. Still made the corner. Didn't leave him an ounce of space to try something. Deepover's on an absolute flyer at the moment. He's really catching up to Brook. I don't think there's going to be any kind of swap. Whoa, up the inside. Heppy, that's a bit late. I think he just got caught out by how early T-Perettes broke there and just realised, oh, I'm running into the back of him, or I'm turning this into an overtake. And he tried to turn it into an overtake and it hasn't quite worked out for him. T-Perettes clobbers the sausage curb there. He's not going to have a good run. Is this the chance that Heppy needs to get cleanly straight up the inside into turn 1? Zabi Jack has gone for the pits. Again, so maybe he's looking for fastest lap. And that's the move from Heppy straight up the inside. Can't see my screen at the moment. Can you give us the current running order? Okay, so in first we've got Brooke for Team England. He has got a 3-second time penalty and is 1.6 seconds ahead of Deepover, also for Team England, who is in P2. But there's a big gap behind him, so Deepover is winning the race from Brooke Littlewood, from Heppy in third. And I think Brooks had an issue. He's spun at the start of the third sector. Now Deepover does have the lead, but Brooke has still got a gap. He just needs to make sure that he doesn't lose too much time. For the cars behind, he's really struggling. Has he lost some wing or something? Yeah, he's really struggling for any kind of pace. Yes, he's lost a bit of front wing there. What's happened here? Has he lost it on the bollard, maybe? Multiparetz has got past Heppy in the background as well. He's just used the DRS. So, back to the running order. It's now Deepover ahead of Brooke, who will be passed by Heppy and Multiparetz on penalties now. So Multiparetz is looking at P2, Heppy's looking at P3. Graham is going to be P4 after this, surely, as Brooke has been cleared now on track by Multiparetz and Heppy. Barks is 6th, Zabi is 7th, and Emilio is 8th at the moment. We've got 3 laps left to go. And the real battle is about second place at the moment, the runner-up spot. That bollard I mentioned has gone from the apex there. So I just wonder if that's what Brooke has hit to get the damage, because it wasn't actually near Deepover unless they've come together when Deepover's tried to avoid Brooke. We'll have to get some confirmation about that later. Penultimate lap. Deepover's got a comfortable lead now though. And it's Heppy versus Multiparetz. Round 3 I think we're on now. But no, too far back for Heppy. He stays in P3 as it stands. And Graham is looking to pass Brooke now. He's right on the back of him. And he's just gone straight up the inside. Brooke's just understeered off the road there. But we're going to switch back to Heppy and Multiparetz. Let's see whether Heppy can get a bit further up the order into that runner-up spot. Oh, Multiparetz has left the door open. Heppy's not going to take it. Maybe he's saving for the DRS on the main straight, because then there's only one real attacking opportunity after that. You can see Multiparetz's ERS light flashing away quite frequently, which will indicate to the driver behind that he's harvesting a lot of energy. That's going to be seen by the fact he's only got 10% ERS. But it's no use. I think Heppy knew what he was doing. He knew he'd have the DRS. The thing he has to watch out for now is he just has to find a way to get round to the back straight out of striking range. There are 2 kind of numbers you want to look for in a race. I think Zabi's got a penalty. But yeah, there are 2 numbers you want to look out for. There's the DRS. There's the DRS range, which is within a second, and then there's what I like to call the striking range, which is the time at which you can actually make an overtake on the straight with DRS. You're looking at 7/10, maybe 8 if you're lucky, on the main straight. You do need to be a bit closer than a second to actually make an overtake with DRS. But here comes Deepover to take a commanding win from the back from Team England. There's a couple of incidents in it for Heppy, but he is going to cross provisionally in P2. Mathieu Peretz looks like he's going to come home in P3. I think he's had a bit of an issue there actually after the pass. Graham came up to P4, so the tyres did play a big advantage in that towards the end. And Zabi's going to come home in P5. Barks has taken the P5 on penalties though. Zabi is 6th, Brook is 7th, and Emilio is coming home in 8th place. And here comes Emilio. And that is the end of the first of 6 rounds of the group stages. And it's Deepover who takes the win for Team England. I'm just going to note down the scores when we get the final leaderboard. Very quickly, so then I can try and keep you guys up to date on what is going on. As Zabi gets the fastest lap, we're gonna wait to see if there's gonna be any decisions made on stewarding, or if we're gonna get straight into the second round, which is gonna be at Silverstone. I'm gonna bring up the format section. You're probably gonna see this quite a lot. So that is round 1 of the group stages completed. Up next, we are going to be taking a trip to sunny Silverstone. It's going to be Team England versus Team America. So, thoughts and things we've noticed from the first round there is we've got a bit of a fight on our hands. Looks like we're going to have some very close racing. And hopefully soon we're going to see round 2. So, I wasn't actually a commentator in the league for the Silverstone round, if there actually was one, last season. So, we don't have any evidence of how good people are at Silverstone to go on. So, I'm going to have a quick look and see if I can spot any race results that involve Silverstone to try and get a bit of a gauge on how things are going to go. But then again, it can be unpredictable, and lots of different circumstances can happen between races that happened in the season and this special event after the season has taken place. Some people improve, some people won't. So the order gets shuffled around a bit. Some people, maybe you discover something in the setup. Maybe somebody discovers a couple of things in the setup and fixes some of the little bits with their driving. They make a bit more progress than you do, and you're thinking, yeah, I'm going up. Then somebody goes up more, so then you go up more, and it goes on like that. And then you end up with a fairly different order to what we would expect. And I believe people are switching around in the cars now, and then we're going to get underway for the second of the group races. So we're going to have the same Team GB as we had before, and we're just going to have Team Americas. I think we're just waiting for one person to join the lobby. England win 29-24 is what I'm seeing in chat. So I think I need to keep an eye on this channel in the Discord, and Barks is going to post the results straight to the chat. So I'm going to keep note that England got 29 points and Europe got 24 points. That was pretty close. I think we're just waiting for one driver from Team Americas to join the session now, and then we're going to be underway. Hopefully the delay won't be too much. So at the moment, it's a bit hard to say how this first result is going to make the difference, as we don't know where Team Americas are going to fit into all of this. But if I had to pick two, I think it's going to be Team GB versus Team Americas for the final. I think. But I live to be proven wrong. I think it's going to be close. I think it's definitely going to be a good three-way fight up until the grand final, when one team will be eliminated. And we're still just waiting for one more to join the session, but not to worry. We're going to get some predictions in chat. Anybody in chat? Predictions for the race. Who do we think is going to take the win in this second group stage? Is it going to be England or is it going to be Team Americas? Personally, I think Team Americas might have the edge. I think if Fred and Dirt Shark can keep their noses clean, I think given where those two finished in the championship, they may have a huge amount of pace. But at the same time, I think there's also a fan favourite and a driver's favourite for the English teams. So maybe they'll be thinking, you know what, yeah, I fancy this. We might not be as good as them as other tracks, but Silverstone is our track. So we will find out. And we're still just waiting for one driver, so hopefully it won't be too long until we can get into Silverstone. Just going to have a quick look through the settings, see if there's anything to note here. Equal performance, custom grids. There's no safety cars. I didn't expect there to be anyway, but they're actually turned off. The weather is set to dry for all races, I believe, so won't do the classic Silverstone thing of tip it down with rain. If you've ever been to Silverstone, you've probably experienced Silverstone in the rain. It's quite a common one. And of course, we've got full car setup. Ghosting is off, rules and flags are on, and race starts are on manual, as we are a full no assists league. I think we're looking to get a reserve in now. So we're just going to see about that. Hopefully we'll get one of the two in a minute and we can get underway, as I think we're all eagerly anticipating the second round. We want to see what Team Americas has to offer, and I'm positive there's going to be a lot that they have to offer. There is going to be a point for fastest lap, and I'm seeing ready up, so I think there is only going to be 3 drivers on Team Americas. So that's going to throw a bit of a spanner in the works for this first part of the race. It's only going to be 3 of the drivers. Apparently there's solid 53 points on offer, as they're being told to ready up. We're going to get into the Silverstone session. And I think, as with the last race, there's going to be no formation lap. We're just going to get straight into it. So hopefully when this loads, I'm going to be able to bring you into the race screen. In fact, we're going to do that right now. While we wait, so you can get some nice pictures of Silverstone. The rare sight of Silverstone without the rain. And all of the fans that are definitely social distancing on the balcony there. And actually in the real Grand Prix we are set to see a capacity crowd. Hopefully those crowd members will have been fully vaccinated and it'll all be very COVID safe. It's good to see a large quantity of fans being allowed back to races now. And here we go, we're going to get straight into the race. It's 5 lights, and away they go. It's Barks on pole. He's got a slow start, he's been jumped by RLK and Brooke into turn 1. They're side by side. Further back it's Fred Deepover and Dirt Shark going 3 wide. Brooke's gone up the inside. RLK has stormed off so far and Brooke's gone round the outside. Ooh, and Deepover's gone through on Barks as well. It's Heppy, Fred and Dirt Shark that are going at it further back now. As we're watching Fred up the inside of Heppy. Heppy's lost a chunk of front wing. That's not the start he would have wanted. And I think Dirt Shark and Fred are just playing it a bit safe on this first lap. I've got this very interesting colour scheme going. I have Team Americas. As Deepover's already looking to pass Brooke immediately. I think Brooke has let him go there, but a team orders as they're going to want to get the win. And it looks like Fred is looking to make a move. He's got a lot of overspeed. He must be using a lot of ERS to make the move. Has he got straight around the outside? Yes, he has. Oh, and Dirt Shark's got a penalty on lap 1. That's not what he needed, and he's locked up big time there. While we're looking backwards, Fred is looking forwards. Deepover's up the inside into turn 1. That is a bold move and a half if ever I've seen one. And Brooks taking it. Oh, and Fred's had a look. He's not quite managed it there. So we're going to have a look at the tyres. As Heppy's boxed for the hard tyres. That's probably what we would expect for the broken front wing. He just knows he needs to make it to the end now. So it's England 1 and 2. But it's 3, 4 and 5 for the Americas team. And are they going to be looking to a little switcheroo here and let Fred unleash his pace towards the front of the field? I think they might be. But they don't want RLK to lose a lot of time. Here comes the predicted strategy. It reckons that there's going to be half race distances when they want to pit. And Fred sends it to the inside beautifully. Deepover sets the fastest lap. Now we're actually going to watch, see if Dirt Shark tries anything. Not into turn 1. That wasn't really the opportunity there. And I think in the Discord chat, Zabi has hit the nail on the head. It's going to be very difficult for them to take the win if they're a player down. Ooh, that was not so gentlemanly between RLK and Dirt Shark there. As he slams the door shut and says no thank you, and Barks is looking to get in on it as well. I think he might just be biding his time a little bit here. We can see Fred is up into P3 now. but he's right on the back. Closing on Brook and Deepover. He's going to need to be looking to take the win here, I think. Now we're going to see if Dirt Shark is running some kind of straight line speed on his setup. And he's got the DRS and he's going to be close enough. Is he going to go for it? Yes, he is. But RLK's held it nicely round the outside. And Barks is looking to get in on the action as well. Oh, I think it was a bit of netcode, or Dirt Shark just dropped it on the curb. But he has been spun round. And Fred is looking to attack Brook now. Is he going to dive for the inside here? No, he's not. Brook covers it. But he's gone deep. This is surely going to let Fred through. It is. And he gets the DRS to add insult to injury to Brook. Can Brook make a move? No, there's nothing he can do now. Not in that corner. Is he trying to try? He's trying to get his nose underneath him, and he's done it. But Fred managed to get better traction. Surely not into cops. No, I think Brook knows better than that. Yeah, he didn't want to take the risk there. Ideally for Deepover, he's going to want Brook to hassle Fred and make him go places he doesn't want to and try and make him defend and lose time. Speaking of defending, there's RLK on the defensive from Barks. A nice smooth line from him. Is he going to look to the inside? Not from that far back. He's got a nice line through there though. Very good on the exit. Oh, but he's gone for the inside now. Lovely move from Barks. It's not done yet. RLK is going to be up the inside. Who gets better traction? It's about even. And they've managed it side by side very nicely. And Barks has got the place. That's going to be him up into P4. It's looking good for Team England at the moment. I say at the moment. Now, Brook's fallen back a little bit from Fred, but not massively. If he's running a good bit of straight line speed, then he's got the potential to go for Fred here. He just didn't quite get the corners hooked up there. I just wonder if Brook is actually using a controller. I'm not sure. My guesstimate is that he is, although I'm not sure. It's a bit hard to tell. And sometimes the movements of the game make it look like you're on a controller when you're not. That was a slide from Brook though. He's not going to be under pressure. He's got a solid gap behind, but it's going to relieve Fred of some of that pressure. But I have to say, he's not made crazy inroads on Deepover yet. Ooh, again, penalty for Brook. It's not going to affect him too much, but now he's a bit less comfortable to the cars behind compared to what he was half a sector ago. Gaps have begun to open out a little bit now. As we go through cops, it's not quite flat on the setup that Brook is running. It looks very pointy, so I think he just needs to confidence lift just to make sure he makes it through there nicely. The gap's coming down a bit more at the front on this lap. So maybe Fred is burning some of that ERS. They both seem to be burning a fair bit of ERS. I think Fred really does just have a lot of pace, as we suspected he would coming into this. the thing to watch out for is definitely going to be who pits when. And Deep Over is pitting now. Bit of a bold strategy move, but I think quite sensible. He's protected himself from the undercut. And if he comes out in clear air, which he most certainly will, as the pit lane loss time is huge at Silverstone, then he's going to be rejoining in the middle of nowhere. Well, that isn't such a bad thing for him. He's going to have a lot of track space to himself. And is Fred going to respond on the next lap? I think he might have to make sure. We have a yellow in sector 2. Is that Barks? It is Barks. I'm not sure what's happened there, but I think he's had a spin at Cops. Oh, that really will shred his tyres. Brooks had another penalty. It's beginning to fall apart a bit now for Team England. As yes, Fred does respond. And Barks is pitting as well. As they all go for a set of medium tyres. Except for Happy, who's on those hard tyres he's been on since the opening lap, or lap 2 I believe. He pitted for a new front wing and a new set of boots. So it's Dirt Shark and RLK that are still yet to pit. They're probably going to box on this lap. But Deep Over has saved from the undercut, but he has lost about 1.3 seconds in the pit stop compared to Fred, which is not brilliant for his race, but still not the end of the world. Oh, Brooks got another penalty. This is really falling apart for him here. As he's now got, I think he served the penalty. So in fact, yeah, we'll get that up. As we know, everybody's boxing for a new set of tyres. As Deep Over sets the fastest lap of the race. He's not one to hang about, but Fred is picked up a 10th. Oh, as Barks has a penalty now as well. As some people have been passed further back, I think Dirt Shark might have had an issue there. Further back. There's yellow in sector 1. Who is that? I think it was Dirt Shark that had the issue. As he was up there with RLK. Now Barks is right there. But actually Heppy is up to P4. It's going to be P3 by the time that Brooks' penalties have been applied at the moment. So on those hard tyres, that's been a very solid effort from him in a recovery drive. He's looking at potentially a podium. After being last with no front wing at the end of lap 1, and Fred really is beginning to close the gap now. It's coming down. He is draining his ERS quite a bit. I wonder if Deepover is saving a bit. Into the braking zone. He's not gaining massively at the moment. I wonder if he might just be conserving now he's in the DRS train range, just to keep with him for a few laps and then save the ERS to launch an attack, or if he's gonna just push flat out. We'll find out in not very long. We've also got Dirt Shark on the back of RLK at the moment, as he goes to the inside. I think RLK knows that Dirt Shark has a penalty, so hasn't really got anything to lose by letting him through. Ooh, RLK's gone a bit wide there. The dirty air really does seem to affect people through the high-speed sections especially. Is this going to leave him vulnerable to Barks? It's going to be tight, but I think he's going to need a bit more than that. Yeah, it's not quite there with him at the moment. Wonder what you can do down the main straight and into the chicane. Let's have a look. Is there a move opportunity up the inside here? Yes, there is. You lose some room. This is the battle. Fred has got within the DRS now. With 2 laps to go, is he going to launch an attack? I think he has to. I think he has to try and risk something with his teammates 5th and 7th. He's got to risk it. Risk it for a biscuit. And he's certainly close enough to do so. Maybe not here. He's going to be looking for the DRS straight. He needs a good exit out of here. Here we go. What's Deepover got in terms of things to defend with? Nothing. That is going to prevent Fred from going to the inside. I think Deepover has realised the situation that he's in. Means he can just let Fred go, and Team England will still take a comfortable win, and hopefully Barks will be able to get us a points update fairly shortly after the race is finished. So we're about to head on to the last lap now. So the order we've got is, it's Fred, who's now set the fastest lap of a 27.3. We've got Deepover in second, who's going to be a close second. And we're going to have Brooke Littlewood. No, we're not going to have Heppy in third. Oh, Brooks had an issue here, which I think is going to hand a position to Heppy, but I don't think it's going to hand the position to Dirt Shark, because he also as a penalty. So I think it is going to be Fred, Deepover, Heppy, Brooke, Dirt Shark, RLK, then Barks. Barks just needs to pull a couple of tenths to keep hold of that P6. It's now 1/10. It's now half a tenth. He's done it now, but he needs to hold on to it. Either way, Deepover didn't choose to make a challenge. He's playing the longer game. He knows that England are most likely going to take the win. Dirt Shark picks up a penalty. That's going to confirm it. As Fred takes the win. Deepover comes across in second. Brooke is going to come across in third place. And there's that unserved penalty. Is Heppy going to pick up fourth? Yes, third. He will. Dirt Shark is fifth. Barks is going to hold on to sixth place. And RLK will round it out in seventh place. So that makes the end of the second race. That's going to do it for the second race. That looks like another England win. So that's going to be good for them going into the break. For them, they're going to have one race to sit and observe the other competitors as we see them spray the champagne. So there is Fred with the fastest lap. Those two up front really were quite in a land of their own. Dirt Shark got close, but I think the penalties quite making the progress at the start that he wanted. And he was stuck in fifth at the end. But I think Fred and Deepover really did have the pace advantage on the rest of the field today. At Silverstone. So that's going to do it for the second event. Now for the third match, we're going to be going to Interlagos, as it's going to be America versus Europe. Now Europe are going to have the advantage of having a look at Team America's, but also Team America's have watched Team Europe. So they've both seen each other's performances. We're now going to see how they compare against each other. I'm hearing England 27, America 21. So it really was quite a bit closer than we might have expected. Just going to check how much was it in the first race. Just going to have a quick check. They won 29-24 last time, so it was actually closer somehow. I think America's picked up the fastest lap with Fred as well, which definitely made it easier. But actually, if they finished last, they'd have still got only one extra point. So it would have been a 27-22 if we're saying that the extra person finished last. Just as a guess, unless that's been factored in. In fact, that 21 involves. But we will see. So we're just going to wait for people to swap over their cars. And then we'll get underway for the next installment of the World Cup, which will be Americas versus Europe at Interlagos. So then, what can we expect from Interlagos? We will find out in not too long. We've got people in the chat and the Discord just flicking between the racing and the chatting. We've also got a World Cup match in real life on at the moment. I believe we've got Italy versus Austria, if I'm not mistaken, has just started in real life. I should say the Euros, actually not the World Cup. I have to blame my sleep schedule for that one. Hopefully we'll get people readying up soon. So we're just going to try and get a... Hopefully people will ready up soon. It looks like we've got most people. We just need a couple of people to switch back over to spectator mode now. And then hopefully we will get underway. Hello Warren, welcome to the chat. I hope you are here to enjoy some racing. And we will hopefully get that to you guys very shortly. We've got Americas versus Europe up next. And we just need a few more people. I think we need one more person to switch over to spectator mode. And then we'll be good to go. I might be generous and wait to see if one of the Americas players will be able to join us. The Clay Racing will be able to join us, or the reserve for Americas will be able to join us. But I will let you know very shortly. And oh, it is Warren from the league. I had my suspicions, but Zabi has confirmed it for me there. And here we go. We're ready to go. We're in Brazil now. We're going to switch over to the racing format. And here we go. Session starts in 20 seconds. And at the moment, we're running a solid 7 minutes behind schedule, which is not bad. Not bad at all for this. Now, what can these guys do at Brazil? This one is a tricky one for track limits. We need to make sure we keep an eye on the penalties for those involved. For track limits, and hopefully keep that to a minimum. You think Italy and then goal. Have Italy scored already? I mean, I'm not really a football fan, but I am. I do take a keen interest in the Euros, just for a bit of personal entertainment. Got 30 seconds till the the race is due to start. I think we just got a couple of people loading in. So hopefully it will start, and it looks like we are. Yep. Got a message from RRK in the chat that says I was so slow because I chose the wrong setup. Oh, that's unlucky, but we're underway, and RRK is on pole now. It's a good start into turn one. How clean are they going to keep it? Oh, Team Europe are going 3 wide and wheel banging. As Graham, oh, he gets ahead of Dirt Shark. It's close. Two Multi Peretz and Zabi Jaka. But it said left the session, so I don't know if this is an AI driving or him. So it's Fred who is already leading from RLK, from Graham, and Dirt Shark. Oh, that's a bit wide. That might be a first warning there, potentially. So Team Americas, it's looking good so far. I hear some potential contact, but I haven't seen anything. Lap 10 is where they reckon it's going to be for pit stops. As Dirt Shark is right with Graham at the moment. Fred sets the fastest lap. I think he might run off into the sunset now. The inside from Dirt Shark. He's got the place. Oh, and Graham is round. And he's reversed onto the track, but he's at the back of the queue, so it's okay. We haven't got any gaps, intervals at the moment. So we're just going to have to watch. But that is a disaster start for the boys in blue, the Europeans. As this is about the best thing that Fred could have hoped for. He's out there leading by a comfortable margin, and we're at the end of lap 2, and he's got a huge advantage. I can't tell you exactly what that advantage is, but RLK has gone wide. I think Dirt Shark's also gone wide, but T. Peretz has passed Dirt Shark. And he's looking to pass RLK now as well, as Dirt Shark goes to the pits. And it's side by side. Well, T. Peretz is round the outside. Good move. He's vulnerable here now. I think he's parked it on the exit just enough. What can RLK do here? Anything? Not quite. I think he's going to just stick with it for now. If he can get Multi Peretz to tow him along, that would be very beneficial to his race, I think. Then look to maybe get the repass later on. But Fred has disappeared off into the sunset. He is 5.6 seconds in the lead at the moment and gaining. So that's that pretty much over with, barring any accidents. Zabi is looking to get past RLK. But RLK is in DRS, and that's a bit of a mistake from Zabi there. Just took a bit too much curve. You don't want to be going near that inside curb there when you're looking for a sweet exit, which you need to get onto the home stretch. I don't think RLK is close enough to try anything. Not from here. So Dirt Shark is on the mediums. He's the one we've got to watch out for. Is where can he finish on those tyres? We will find out. Zabi's catching, he's caught him up now. He's got a tricky exit out of that corner now. I think he's struggling with oversteer in that car. It just seems to slide around everywhere. For him at the moment, that's a 9.5 from Fred Nolasco. That just sums up his race, really. He's seconds a lap quicker than everybody, I think. Mathieu Peretz is up nicely into P2 at the moment. I wonder if Zabi's best opportunity is to make a move in the middle sector rather than counting on the exits if that's where he's struggling. He seems to gain time on corner momentum. That's a piece of front wing missing. I'm not quite sure how that's happened. But it's off Zabi's car somehow. He's missing a chunk of front wing. Where has that come from? It didn't hit a bollard or another car that we saw, so that's a bit of a strange one. We'll have to, I just wonder if there was some lag between RLK and Zabi and that maybe ended up in a bit of a lag moment for him. But either way, he's coming in for his set of medium tyres. No penalties as of yet, though, which is good to see. New front wing for Zabi. And he's going to filter out behind Dirt Shark, so at least Dirt Shark's putting in the laps. But I think his tyres might be a bit done towards the end. Definitely not impossible, but he's got a long way to go on them, shall we say. So he's going to have to drive pretty carefully. As Fred's advantage is up to 10.8 seconds now. Is this going to be another fastest lap of the race? I don't think it is. It's a 10.5, so he's beginning to slow down the pace now. Doesn't need to be doing 9s every lap to keep the advantage. Probably just remaining calm on his part and just bringing it home. You can win by half a tenth, or you can win by 10.5 seconds. It won't matter. You're still going to get the same number of points. You're more likely to make a mistake if you're pushing like heck to try and get further ahead. And he's just beginning to cruise. Keep the tyres, temps down, keep everything in check nicely. And here comes Emilio, who is factoring into the battle for third place ever so slightly now. Using first gear to get some rotation there. It did seem to rev out a bit much there. Not quite going to be in the DRS. He has drained his ERS deployment to get to this stage. But he's caught up quite nicely to RLK actually here. So it's looking good for him. Can he make a move here actually? Not quite. RLK is a bit wise to that one, just coming him off a little bit. But to the inside now, Emilio blitzed the ERS, but not quite. He didn't want to risk anything too much. And they've got the gap to battle. The gap to Graham is 9.5 seconds. So you've got the gap to try and make something happen here. As we've got a yellow, that's is that Dirt Shark that's had an issue here? I think it might have been. or he's just in the sector where the yellow was. To the inside, oh, easy as you like with the ERS and the DRS there. And he is up into third place at the moment. Does RLK have an answer? He does not at the moment. Oh, but that's deep from Emilio. Can he hold the place? He's going to have to try and defend the inside. You can't really send one from back there. Unless you've got supreme grip. No, Emilio makes the apex nicely. The only danger is that RLK will just come back up the straight with a bit of DRS. Ooh, especially as he was a bit wide through that corner there. I think RLK is going to be straight back up the inside. Here with the DRS, surely. Yeah, there's nothing he can do. It wasn't anywhere near as easy as I was expecting though. But Emilio might be able to hold this around the outside. He is not, but RLK will have picked up a warning for that. And I can assure you, if you lose the place and just stay within 3 seconds, and somebody does a time penalty, that's a whole lot easier than trying to make the move. As he cuts off any opportunity for a pass there. Nobody's decided to pull the trigger for tyres just yet. So I think what Emilio's got to do now is focus on this next corner. That was much better. Now, if he gets a good run through this final corner here. RLK is still quite close. Maybe at the end of the straight, but it's going to be a lot closer. Ooh, what's he Perez? It's got a time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Yeah, pit lane troubles do seem to bring penalties. Tends to be speeding in the pit lane, or your tyres are going off and then you get one more track limit in a silly place. That's when you begin to get those penalties. I think Emilio's had 2 on this lap so far, depending on what the track limits are like, if they're the same as time trial. I haven't extensively tested strict corner cutting around here for a while. So we're going to see, oh, RLK's right at the back of him now. Surely not going to be around the outside of there. Yeah, no, the move was never on there. But now on the exit, is there anything RLK can do? He's got a long side very early though. And in fact Emilio wants to go for the pits anyway, so... he's going to pull the trigger. In fact, I missed Fred take the pit stop. Everybody seems to be wanting a new set of tyres at the moment. What's he Perez? Is he going to come out in front of everybody? Yes, comfortably. It looks like his 5-second penalty isn't going to make a huge difference, as he's still got a fair gap to Zabi, but he's got 5 lap younger tyres. Big slide from Zabi there. Now at the moment it looks like it's going to be England who are going to take themselves through to the grand final. And I think at the moment, until the Americans can get themselves another driver in, it's going to be very difficult for them to pull out a win, but we'll see as RLK goes for a set of hard tyres. As the gaps have begun to spread out now between everybody in the field. So it's Fred who's leading comfortably by over 20 seconds of Mati Peretz now, who is a little bit ahead of Zabi, who is ahead of Dirt Shark, RLK, Emilio, and Graham. I've word from Barks, we might have found a sub for Americas. That's really good to see. I've been told if you get more than 27 points, you win. Is what Barks has told me in the chat. Maybe that's the maximum, the minimum points you can get and also win the race, I think is what he's saying there. But it looks like we will be having a sub for the Americas, which is really good to see. And we will truly have a 4 versus 4, which will be good for the show. That's what we like to see. The gaps really are quite evened out now. Wonder if Emilio is going to be able to do anything about RLK, seeing as now he slipped back behind him again, but he is on a step softer tyres. We will see. Got Fred and Alaska still winning. Oh, that's a bit wide from Emilio there though. Don't want to be doing that too many times. So if I'm correct, oh, there's the penalty. Somebody's off in the middle of the road there. That's Mati Peretz from second place on the road is off. And that's going to hand the place to Zabi Jacket, and now he's in range of being caught by Dirt Shark. As Dirt Shark has no penalties, but Mati Peretz has 5 seconds worth of penalties, I believe. In fact, I'm going to show penalties on the detail. Oh, he has 8. Oh, that's not good. As he could be at risk from RLK if he doesn't get a move on. That really would drop him down and help Team Americas quite nicely, actually. We'll see. So if in theory Fred will get 8, Dirt Shark will get 5, and RLK will get 4. So that's still not even 20 points between them. I'm not quite sure how America's managed to get 21 in the second race, but I'm not the one doing the maths on that, so we'll see. Only 2 laps left to go now though, and Fred is going to have built this up to about 30 seconds by the time the race is finished probably at the rate that he's going. As Zabi in second has got a penalty. Mathieu Perez, the third, has also got a penalty. It's all gone a bit wrong for Team Europe, but I'm not sure whether they're actually Emilio has passed RLK. They are going at it still. Not sure which way this tie is going to swing. I think it might just about swing the way of Team Europe, but I think it's going to be a close one. We'll find out, and Fred has set the fastest lap of a 9.4 on the mediums now. That really does sum up the dominance that he's had on this race. His home track, and it's clearly like what we were saying about Silverstone. That's your home track, and you get in the rhythm, you tend to just be that little bit faster. And he's a lot faster than everyone today. Mathieu Perez and Xavi Jacker have done a little switcheroo there. And Fred's already in the middle sector now, on the last lap. And Emilio's gone for the inside. Can RLK hold it around the outside? No, he can't. His hard tyres aren't giving him enough grip for that. But you don't need grip to go in a straight line. So, is he going to be able to do anything with the DRS? It looks like he's a bit far back. I think he is. But we're going to switch back to the front as Fred Nolasco dominates with an incredible race, which ended on a 1 minute 8.6 fastest lap, which is seconds faster than anybody else in this race. Team England, if you're watching, yeah, you got your work cut out for this one when you have to face Team Americas at home. Mathieu Perez is going to come home. He's actually going to end in P4, albeit second on the line. It'll be Xabi who actually takes second at the finish. Dirt Shark will take third. Mathieu Perez will take fourth after the penalties. And Emilio, RLK gets past Emilio with penalties to take fifth. And then Graham rounds out the finishers of the third race of the group stages. So there we have it. I'm going to check the chat and see if we can get a result out shortly. And we can note down where everybody stands after their first two games. And the real life football, it's still 0-0 for anybody who's interested. No goals yet. And hopefully we're going to get the confirmation of the race result. I think there's absolutely no doubt who won the race on track. But we will find out how the teams fared in that. Just going to keep checking the chat to see if we can get a result for you guys very shortly. The next race will be England versus Europe at Silverstone. So England will be back to Silverstone again. And they'll be looking to have a repeat of what happened versus the Americas. And Fred really did dominate that race. It's plain and simple as that, really. I don't think there's much more we can say other than it's going to be tricky. If anybody can manage to beat that at a time, that was very, very fast. Barks is typing in the chat, so hopefully... Oh! Not quite sure how the points are being dished out here on the system, but it's a draw. So, that's thrown a spanner in the works for everybody there. So, England are on 6 points because they've won their 2 matches, and the other 2 are on 1 point apiece. So, it seems to be a bit of friction between the Americas team, between RLK and Dirt Shark over an incident on the first lap where RLK broke very early and Dirt Shark lost his wing on the back of his car on lap 1. Break at the 50. I'm assuming he's meaning for turn 1, is it? We'll have a look at that. I think there's only 2 places where you brake at the 50. That's turn 1 and the corner at the end of the first sector. I think can't remember exactly what the corners are called at Brazil, but it's the corner after the center S's, then you've got the straight, and it's the left-hander after that to begin sector 2. Oh, well, that was a very good chance in the football. I've just spotted on my phone there. I think it was Italy who very nearly scored. But it looks like we're ready to get racing again back at Silverstone very shortly. So far, England have taken 2 wins out of 2 matches. Europe have lost 1 and drawn 1. Americas have lost 1 and drawn 1. Now I've got the air quotes. Well, we would consider the goal difference, but the points difference. At the moment, Europe would be ahead of Americas based on the points they've scored in their matches. They are 3 points up. But we're back at Silverstone. We are ready for the next race. We're going to switch over to the racing scene. Ready for the 4th of the group matches. There's only 3 more of these left to go, and then we're going to find out who's going to be in that grand final. As we wait for those final ones ready to connect to the session. Everybody's going to be picking their setups. Oh, looks like we've just got the just got it spinning around in circles at the moment. 10 seconds to go until the second Silverstone race of the evening is underway. It's 5 lights. And away we go. There, 3 wide into turn 1. Team England have swamped Team Europe. It's at 1, 2, 3, 4. And Matej Perec has had something to say about that as he runs deep over right to the edge of the track there. Bit of wheel banging there, I think. And deep over's round. Deep over's round. We've not quite seen what's happened there. But my favourite to win, I think, is now not going to be winning. Matej Perec makes the move on Snaggletooth. Everyone's going for the soft tyres. They're all going to pick mediums at about the same time. And Snaggletooth do anything? He's just a bit far back. So it's Heppy and Brook that have got the lead at the moment. Can Deep Over make the move? Has Zabi gone for the pits? He has. Is that a front wing missing for Emilio? Either way, Deep Over has dispatched of Emilio. And is going to run away in his pursuit of the higher points paying places. Everybody scores points, but the further up you get, the more you score, of course. And Brook is clinging onto Heppy quite nicely. He's in the DRS, and Matej Perec is not in the DRS of Brook at the moment. But we wouldn't get DRS on this lap anyway, it's only lap 2. That'll be next time around, we will have DRS enabled. And we will see what these guys can do in terms of making a pass with a bit of drag reduction system assistance. They're beginning to put a couple of tenths on Matej Perec now. Snaggletooth doing a solid job in 4th. As Brooks sets the fastest lap of the race. He's actually quite close behind Heppy. He might be thinking, I fancy a move. Oh, Emilio's got a pit lane speeding penalty. I wonder if the game will let him take that in this pit stop, or if he will just have it added to the race. As Heppy appears to do a bit of team orders there, I think. Deep Over's looking at the back of Graham. You won't want to be looking at the back of that European branded multiplayer car for any longer than he has to be. I think a blitz of ERS. But Graham's wise to it, and he's blitzed his a bit more to keep in front. Big bit of dirty air there, but he's navigated that and accounted for that. We've got a yellow. Is that Emilio? I think it might be. It is. And we're passing Graham now. And we've made the move. Deep Over is up into 5th place. Brooks sets the fastest lap. And we're down to a 28.3. which is actually just as quick as what Fred did, I believe. No, that was a 27, I think, actually. So we are still a way off, but in that match it didn't matter because England managed to take the win anyway. And if it carries on this way, they are going to be taking another win in their penultimate race, I believe. They will then have to play against the Americas at Brazil. And in fact, Heppy's staying very nicely to the back of Brook. I think he's just letting Brook tow him along a bit, as this is helping pull them away from Mati Peretz ever so slightly. If they're just keeping him out of DRS, that's all they need to do. Oh, Brook's got a time penalty. That's going to drop him down to third. So now Heppy is your net race leader. Snaggletooth has gone for the pits to put on his set of medium tyres, I believe. Now I'm going to check if either of these two... No, they both put on the mediums. And that's a new front wing for Snaggletooth as well. So again, Heppy's just sticking in the DRS, but he's actually fallen out of it only just at the moment, but he might gain some time back here, and if Brook is really trying to play the team game, then he might try and help Heppy get in the DRS to pull him away from Mati Peretz. But at the same time, he's going to want to build that advantage to account for his time penalty. But he's actually over pushed and he's clipped the grass, which I did in our preview video, our preview live stream yesterday. I found you lose up to 2.5, 3 tenths just from clipping the grass on the exit of that complex. It really does destroy your momentum without visually appearing to. Oh, but Brook's round. He's had a big slide through turn 1. And that's the lead for Heppy now, in not the way he was expecting to get the lead, I don't think. Now Brook's got to be careful, his tyre temperatures are through the roof and traction zones are really difficult. He just needs to let the tyres calm down now. That's a time penalty for Emilio. Now Mati Peretz is probably thinking, you know what, I can probably get a win out of this. I think there's definitely... He's dropped back a bit this lap. But he's dropped back quite a lot now. He was 1.1 behind, but he's just lost 7 tenths. He's not got any kind of puncture, and I think he might have just had a bit of a slide somewhere. He might have damage. I'm going to investigate. No, he hasn't. He just seems to be losing touch with Heppy now. Heppy's unlocked just a bit more pace than originally he had. Maybe he's been given the message to push a bit, and he's just doing so a bit more now. But Deepover is now only 1.7 behind Brook after that now. He's actually not that far off the lead now. We have our champion in the chat, Simo Pez, champion of Season 1 of 2021. Welcome to the chat, Simo. I hope you're going to enjoy the stream and watching your fellow competitors go at it tonight. Oh, we've got Fred in the chat as well. Hey, Fred. Well done in your previous races on, I think that's 2 wins out of 2. A very impressive performance at Brazil. Winning by over 30 seconds. Oh, Brooks got sideways. Ooh, deep over. That would have been a scary moment for him, seeing Brooks sideways and out of control trying to come across the track there. I think Brooke might be running something closer to a time trial setup here. If he's running the TT style setup, he'll be running something like 1:11 to 10 on the suspension, which if you know about the setup, you'll know that's pretty sketchy when it comes to stability. It's very pointy, but it can be very fast at a track like Silverstone. And it's what quite a lot of the top time trial times use. That is the danger of taking your time trial setups into your race session. You do need to do a few adjustments. So now we've got Deepover is still out there, and Graham is still out there. And everybody else has come in for their pit stop already. So I wonder if Deepover is trying to do some kind of an overcut or just wants some new tyres. He's probably thinking, let's just take them a couple of laps longer if we've got the pace in them. If you've still got a bit of tyre life, it's always good to stay out and use it if you think it's going to bring you a benefit. He did tend to stay out for 1 or 2 laps longer in the races so far, so he seems to be much kinder on his tyres, or feels he can push them when they are a bit more worn than maybe his competitors. There's been an issue there. I think that might have been for Brooke again, was it? I'm not sure, but I think his setup is maybe just hindering him a little bit here. Turns very nicely for the chicanes. And Graham has gone into the pits. Sabi has picked up a penalty. He's been taking a bit too many liberties with the track limits. So this must be looking good for Team GB. As the gap between Epi and Mati Peretz has opened up to 4 seconds now. No penalties for either of them. Brooks got a time penalty, unfortunately. That's gonna drop him into the clutches of Zabi if he's not careful. But he should be fairly safe from that for now. So are we going to see? We are. Deepover has bailed for the pit lane. Ooh, that's going to help Heppy out very nicely. Mati Peretz has picked up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. And where is Deepover going to exit? I think he's going to come out in P3 here. That is going to be a huge result for him, after being last and half spun around on the first lap. I think he is going to be very happy with that. And actually, if Mati Peretz has a penalty, he's only got to find 2.6 seconds on him in the next few laps. and then he'll actually be up to second place. So this is looking good for England. They are looking to make it to 9 points, and then I'm pretty sure it's impossible for them not to be in the final, regardless of whether they lose all their final game with Team Americas. He's very happy with that. Yes, I can imagine he will be. Out in front, cruising, just managing the gap to P2 now. He knows he can even let Mathieu Peretz go through if needs must. And we're going to see what Deepover's got in terms of pace. He's going to get the gap down by 1.2 seconds in the next 3 laps. It's possible, definitely possible, if he sews up a good few laps, then he will be able to do this and will be on for a second place. In fact, what we are seeing is Zabi closing in on Snaggletooth. We've got the engine glitch, so we're gonna switch. Oh, Graham's picked up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. The in-game track limits really are quite harsh when you run them on strict, as we are doing today. They're even stricter than the real-life track limits. As we've got time trial, and you don't want people abusing track limits in time trial, and then they just seem to copy that for the strict corner cutting. Zabi's run a bit wide, and that's just going to give Snaggletooth a bit of breathing room. And Deepover set the fastest lap. He's already within that 3 seconds, so now he just needs to stay there in order to get that P2, as we've got 2 laps remaining now. Heppy is just appearing to cruise at home now. He is letting the gap close, but not too drastically. Mathieu Peretz has definitely been a standout performer in terms of my expectations compared to what they've actually done. I didn't really know what to expect from Mathieu Peretz. I haven't really seen much of him within my 2 races of commentating, but I'm seeing some good performances here. Deepover does need to stick on it though, because Mathieu Peretz is he's really put his foot down a bit. He's certainly got a lot of pace. And Snaggletooth is doing exactly as he needs to at the moment. Just keeping Zabi at arm's length. Gonna start the final lap now. And all Snaggletooth needs to do now is just stay within 3 seconds of Zabi. Hopefully he'll be running the HUD element in the top left, which tells you what time penalties everybody has. Or he'll be watching the stream, or he might have an engineer, or one of his teammates might know. Oh, but that's let Zabi past. Now he's just got to stick with him. But he'll know, surely, that he doesn't have to repass him. And he's just about going to cling on. He just doesn't need to lose 1.9 seconds in the last sector and a half of this lap. So we're going to switch it up to the front. And it's going to be Happy who takes the win in Silverstone. Obviously, Peretz is only just going to finish ahead of Deepover on track. On the road, it looks like Brook is going to come in fourth. I will keep you updated on where he really finishes. It's going to be behind Zabi, but Snaggletooth gets fourth for Team England. Zabi in fifth, Brook in sixth. Graham is going to come home seventh. And Emilio is going to round out the finishers. So I can say with quite a bit of confidence it's going to be a win for Team GB, and that surely means they are now qualified for the final. Deepover gets driver of the day. Yep, I would agree with that, given where he was on the first lap and where he's finished the race. We're going to see some celebrations on the podium. As they spray the champagne. But not too long to celebrate now. There's still another 2 rounds to go to decide whether it's going to be Team GB versus Team Americas or Team GB versus Team Europe. 27.9 for Heppy, so not only is it going to be a win, but it's going to be a win plus fastest lap. Ooh, only just gets the fastest lap from Deepover. So get in Team England. I think that might be Deepover in the chat. If it is, well done. That was a brilliant race from Team England. Those are your results. We're going to get confirmation from Barks in the Discord chat. Ah, it is. It is. Well done, David. Good job, mate. Good job from the back at the end of lap 1 to bring it through all the way into P2 at the finish. It's looking good for Team England at the moment. See a few people are typing in the chat. See if we can get some. Yep, and there comes the result. England 32, Europe 21. Wow. A brilliant result. For Team England, which will put them on to 9 points. Which means they are on 9 points. Europe are on 1, and Americas are also on 1. And hopefully we will shortly get into the next race. I'm going to bring up the format now. So, it's one final challenge for England. It's going to be England versus the Americas at Interlagos. Can anybody take the challenge to Fred? And can anybody halt Team England as a team? We are going to find out at some point very shortly, when everybody is all spectated or in the correct car. You'll then be able to see what these guys can do. I don't think there's another driver for Team Americas yet, unfortunately. So, it appears that England are probably going to be the #1 seed going into the final. So they're going to be at home. So it looks like it's going to be a Silverstone final. But is it going to be Team Europe or is it going to be Team Americas? If England get the win here, then it's going to be very difficult to predict who will be going through. But if the Americans and the Southern Americans can get the win, then we will see. Then it will be much more likely that they will be able to go through compared to Europe, given they have beaten Europe. Actually, no, they drew with Europe, so it really is all to play for. But on point difference, they were ahead. We're going to find out very shortly. So, we're going to write in the results quickly. So England got 32 points. That was a bit of a statement. So we are almost ready to go now. Just waiting for the final people to spectate up. Want to make sure that we've got no extra cars trying to race round. And then we'll be good to go. And then we're going to get underway. Can anybody take the fight to Fred? Nobody beat his fastest lap in Silverstone. So we will see. I think we are good to go now. And they're getting underway. So we're going to find out what the drivers can do about Fred's pace. We're going to find out very shortly, as we are now going to track. We're going to switch back over to the racing scene. And we're just waiting for Deepover to enter the session. Sometimes it's a little bit slow with different connections, but it looks like we've got it all sorted. And here we go. There's only going to be 7 drivers still, so Americas haven't managed to get themselves a 4th just yet. And very shortly we're going to get into the session. And it's lights out, and away we go. There we go. It's a good start from everybody. It's clean. No contact so far. Heppy and Barks going side by side for the lead. And they've very nearly come to contact, and Dirtshock's going through the middle of them. RLK's trying to follow him through, but Dirtshock's stalled out. And now Fred's tried to make the move. Barks is back up to second. Dirtshock has been relegated to third. RLK's now going for the move on Fred. Can Fred brave it around the outside? Yes, he can. But RLK's been cautious to let him back through, and that's like Brook round the outside. Dirtshock's going around the outside of Barks. They make a tiny bit of contact. Barks is in the wall. Barks is in the wall. And they get slowed down. RLK too, as he tried to avoid. Heppy has taken a pretty big advantage. As Dirtshock's got a bit sideways there, he's got a bit squirrely on the exit. Now here comes Fred. To win this match, he's going to need to get in front of Heppy, I think. And will Dirtshock play the team game? Or will he put up a fight when Fred gets there? Because Fred is right there, but he's got no DRS until lap 3 to try and make the pass happen. And the longer these two go at it, the harder it's going to be for him to catch Heppy, who seems to have had a nice turn of pace. Whoa! And Dirtshock's wide. Fred is up the inside. That's going to settle that one very quickly. And then Fred is up into P2. But can Dirtshock come straight back at him, actually? He's going to be quite close. Going on to the straight. He's not be close enough without DRS. As Fred sets the fastest lap of a 10.2. So it looks like he does definitely still have the pace over the other drivers. But not quite the massive deficit that the others that he had in the previous round at Interlagos. Heppy's gone a bit wide. Is that going to enable Fred to have a look anywhere? No, it's not. Is Dirtshock going to try and follow him through? Deep Over's also quite close behind. Now I think Fred's going to have it done pretty easily here. To the inside, yeah, it's a done deal. Up into P1. I think Dirtshock's just struggling with a bit of understeer there. Fred really goes quite defensive there. He doesn't want to allow Heppy to repass him immediately. I think he's going to get away with it. Can Dirtshock make anything happen? I think Heppy's going to be just about in the DRS of Fred. If he is, that's certainly going to help him in his defence, but Dirtshock gets a good run through here, which he most certainly has. Oh, but he had to get out of it as Heppy pretty much parked it on the exit there. To the outside. And that's the move done. Fred sets the fastest lap again. It's pretty much runaway time for Fred. This is looking good for Team Americas, but will it be enough to get the win? As actually Happy's going back round the outside. While we're talking about that, he has made the move stick on Dirt Shark. And he said, no thank you, you're not running away from me just yet. I think this is allowing Fred to get away a bit, though. As Dirt Shark is right there, he's going to be getting the dirty air through here. But he will get the slipstream now. And then the DRS when we hit the activation line, which is here. You can see the little flap in the rear wing. Brooke has got another time penalty. First of this race. I wonder if there's going to be some team orders with Deepover asking to be let through maybe. He thinks he can make an indent as Happy's going for the inside again. He's going to make the pass again on Dirt Shark. But he's left him a bit too much room. He's not carried anywhere near enough momentum through there. That's just going to allow Dirt Shark to go up the inside. He did cut the corner a fair bit though. We've got a yellow. That's Barks. The hard tyres might not be treating him too well at the moment. But we're going to go back to Happy, who has let Deepover through. David has got up into P3 now. So he's lock up from Happy. Actually, Fred hasn't disappeared off too much compared to what you might expect. As Brooke has now passed Happy as well. It's quite a close battle at the front here. So it's looking fairly balanced between the teams at the moment. I think Americas might be looking at... I don't think it'll be quite a win. I think they'll be quite close. If they've got fastest lap, it might be close. Not certain on how the points are going to work. So I think, but I'm not certain that we're going based on it was 5 versus 5, but then we had to take the reserves out, but we're keeping the original point system maybe. So if we were doing that, Fred would have 10, Dirt Shark would have 9, David would have 8, Brooke would have 7, Happy would have 6, RLK would have 5, and Barks would have 4. That's a one to wonder, but at least we're getting the scores through quite quickly. And I just wonder if Deepover David managed to make the pass on Dirt Shark. I think that would probably seal the win, just about. I think Fred has not quite got the advantage that we saw in the first race. I wonder whether that's purely on lap times that he's been setting, so we're actually going to have a look at this. Yeah, he's been in the 9s, so the fact of the matter is, not that he's lost any kind of pace. It's just the competition is maybe a bit more accustomed to Interlagos. That's going to help. That is going to help Team England. That's a penalty for Dirt Shark. We're seeing Happy stick within 1.5 seconds of Brook, so he's going to get ahead of him when that penalty is applied, which won't actually make a difference, but I wonder if Barks might try and get fastest lap. Yep, Deepover wants to try and undercut Dirt Shark. Man who's usually enjoying taking time longer on his tyres longer into the race, has decided to pull the undercut. So he must believe there's a benefit of getting the undercut here. I think Dirt Shark will know. He must know that he's got to deliver a good lap here if he wants to stay ahead. It's been a good lap so far. And actually we're going to watch Happy and Brook. I wonder if they're going to come for the pits now, actually. As Brook is going for the pits, but Happy chooses to use the DRS. He might think that might get me a better lap. So I wonder if that's the activation line for the second DRS zone. Yes, it must be, because he didn't get the double dose of DRS there. So Dirt Shark also pitted in that. So we're going to have a look. Where is he going to rejoin? It's going to be ahead of Deepover. It's not been a good lap on the new tyres by the looks of it. So I wonder what's going on there. Here comes Fred. Is he going to dive for the pits? Yeah, doesn't want to risk anything. Sensible. Into the pits. And he's going to exchange his tyres. So Heavy's going to get puzzled by Dirt Shark and David. So into the final stages of this race now. I think it's fairly certain what the order's going to be here. I don't think David quite has... Ooh, sideways from Brook there. I don't think David quite has the pace to stick within the penalty window of Dirt Shark. I don't think he quite has enough. As it's only a 3-second time penalty. Emilio has left the session. I used some Team Europe, so that's not going to affect this race. So maybe Team Europe will be down to 3 for the next and final group stage event. And then we're going to have one last race to decide it all in the final. And it looks like it's going to be Team England versus Team Americas at Silverstone, as it stands. Oh, a couple of people getting penalties, Heppy and Brooke. So it's not been a good corner for Team England, but it's not going to affect any positions actually. And the only real saving grace here would be if Dirt Shark gets a penalty. Otherwise, I think Americas are going to take the win. As I think they might actually take the win here if they've got a 1-2. Or at least it'll be very close, I think. But I'm not entirely certain on it, but I think it'll be close. Gap's beginning to edge out a bit, and Fred's beginning to stretch his legs a little bit now. We're down to a 9.299. He managed an 8.6, I think it was, in the first Interlagos race, so we'll just have to wait a few more laps to see if he can better that or match that. So nobody's really in anybody's penalty window at all at the moment. So even with all these penalties, nobody's actually going to fall down or gain any places from them by the looks of it. So it's really a case of... Ooh, but somebody's ran... Oh, that's Heppy. That's Heppy has had a bit of an adventure there. But it's not going to make a difference anyway. Still not going to affect the running order. As we get closer to the end of the race, Heppy has gone for the pits actually. So this really will put a spanner in the works, but I think he might get a fastest lap out of this. He's going to have to push for it. And it's going to be close between him and RLK. I think if he keeps the gap stable, it should be okay. He's probably going to gain a lot of time on his brand new tyres from here. So he should gap RLK quite nicely here. Yeah, look at the time he's just gained through one corner. He's gained about 3/10. So I think he's comfortably going to get the advantage. And probably a fastest lap on the last lap. As we're on the penultimate lap now, with Fred Nolasco leading from Dirt Shark. David is third, from Brooke in fourth. And this is Heppy and RLK in fifth and sixth. And Barks is going to round out our races for this event. As Brooke has picked up another time penalty. But he's still safe in terms of lap time to Heppy behind, who's going to need a pretty sensational lap to beat Fred's, I think. Because he really is on fire on this track. Oh, Barks has picked up a penalty. Yeah, the gaps began to just phase out in this this race. It hasn't been quite as thrilling towards the end as we might have hoped. That's not to worry, there's still one more race and a grand final to go, which is where the real adventures happen. And we're on the last lap with Fred. He's already in the last corner. And he's going to come across to take yet another victory. And he got the fastest lap with an 8.7 from Dirt Shark in second. Deepover David is going to come across the line in third. Brooke is coming round. Ooh, you know, Happy's not far off taking this place away from Brooke. He's got to find 3/10 though. I don't think it's quite going to happen for him. Oh, it very nearly did. Oh, it's going to be. He's going to do it. He's just done it. On the line, Happy takes fourth. Barks has come home in seventh, and RLK is going to come home. And that rounds out our finishers. And there we have it, Fred. Another win for him. It's been another dominant performance. Yet again. As they come to celebrate the final group stage for England. There's going to be one more between Europe and Americas. We're still running fairly on schedule, which is good. And yeah, no fastest lap for Happy. Fred really did have that one in the bag. Good from him. Graham's typing in the YouTube chat. No shocker today, partying last night, apparently to blame. Apologies to the team and fans. Hopes for some redemption in the final race. I hope you get said redemption in the final race. And we're going to see what the result was and whether it was an England win or it was a Team America's win. But it was certainly a win on track for Fred and Lasco. There's no question about that one. It was a draw. So 25 points for England, 25 points for America. So we've got one more group match. It's going to be Americas versus Europe at Barcelona. I knew it was going to be close. So if it's a draw, that means England are on 10 points and Americas are on 2 points. So Europe need to win this match to make it to the final. England will be top seed. I think that's confirmed for certain. The maximum you can get is 3 points and the deficit is 8. So yeah, comfortably England will be the top seed. But is it going to be Europe or is it going to be America who will take the fight to them? We're going to find out fairly shortly. We haven't seen Fred's driving at Barcelona. We haven't seen Dirt Sharks driving at Barcelona. But we know they're quite fast, so I imagine they're going to be right up there as they usually are. And we just have to wait for everybody to swap to either spectator mode or their race car. And then hit ready. And then we will get on with the final group stage match of the day. And then we will know who will be competing in the final. We're just waiting for the final people to sort out their car choices. And then we will be good to go. So I think England are looking in the best position here for the final. And we just need to get a couple of drivers in, actually. In the real life football, it's still 0-0. So if you're lucky, by the time we finish, there'll still be an extra time and you might be able to catch the penalties at the end. Do love a good penalty shootout. As we've got a couple of people. Yeah, we just need to wait for a couple to join, as we've actually only got 2 Europeans in. So sorry for the delay. We're trying to get a sub in. It appears to be a lot of tension between the teams. It seems to have calmed down between the Team America's teammates, and it's now all going off between Team Europe. Looks like we've got the brother of Emilio joining to try and boost Europe to their final match. Hopefully they will be able to get a good result against Americas. But also hope the Americas will be able to get a good result too. But I don't think in this match you're going to get a result where both teams are happy, as only one of them is going to be going through to the final. So somebody's going to come away disappointed. And we will find out fairly shortly who that's going to be. Random interesting statistic for people out there. If we used the actual F1 points, then Dirt Shark has scored 1 point more than Mati Peretz, and yet we've hardly seen them on the same piece of track all evening. And Graham, RLK, and Barks would have all scored exactly 24 points each. So that's just some random statistic for you all to keep us busy while we wait for the admin bits to sort themselves out. And hopefully I'll be able to confirm more details on the next season of this at some point soon. And then we will let you know as soon as we have details of Season 2 sorted out. I believe it's going to be on the next game, given that comes out in not that long. Barks seems to think they need a draw or win for the final. Barks, they need to win, I believe, because America's drew with England. They are going to need... Oh, we've gone into the race. So that's clearly been sorted out, whatever it was. The technical bits and getting drivers in. So we're going to see who we've got. And there's no driver list. And Fred's outed his teammates in the Discord and said, don't touch the curbs. Yep, I think he's not wrong. So it's going to be Fred, Dirt Shark, and RLK versus Mati Peretz, Graham, and Emilio. Got a bit of banter in the chat. Team Europe drivers gone out. Yeah, it seems to be a bit all confusion in the Discord between the Team Europe drivers. Right, we're just waiting for the... Here we go. We're going to get underway for the final group stage. Emilio's the one in the black car, as it was a last-minute sub. And away they go. And they're 3 wide into turn 1. Who's going to come out on top? It's RLK that comes out on top. It's been a good start for Team America. They're up to first, third and fourth. So it's looking good, and Emilio's been turned around. And that's Fred! That's Fred! The best hopes for Team America's is missing a bit of front wing. And is down to last. Drama on the opening lap. How's this going to affect the race though at this point? It's still not going to be good enough for Team Europe. Even with Fred with damage, they need to be doing better than this. And there's a yellow flag somewhere. It seems to have cleared itself. As Mati Peretz is defending from Fred. Who's going to bail for the pit lane? Is he going to go for a set of hard tyres to the end? Let's have a look. No, he's going for a set of medium tyres. It seems to be all falling apart for Team Europe at the moment. as the gap is already up to 8 seconds between the two at the front and Graham in third. So the gap's 1 second at the front as we start lap 3. Now DRS is going to be enabled but not active on this straight, but they will have it in the middle sector straight and then on the main straight the next time they come round. There's a yellow, it's Moti Peretz. Has he had an issue? Yeah, his front wing's missing. It's another blow for Team Europe as Emilio's in the pits again. It's all got a bit scruffy and scrappy. And RLK and Dirty Shark up front have really been keeping themselves in check. And I think it's only a matter of time before Dirty Shark makes this pass. I think with DRS here, surely it's going to be a done deal. To the outside. And he's made it stick. And he's gone into the lead now. Ooh, but RLK is still right there. And he is going to come back at him up the inside here. But he's backed out. Fred's setting fastest laps again. And Moti Peretz has gone for the pits. So we're going to see the winner of this matchup is going to face England at Silverstone. At the moment, that looks to be Team America's. So we're going to have to see can the others really take the fight to Team England. We're expecting Fred to get the win, as he's been basically incredible on another level in terms of pace this evening. But we expect David to be right up there with him. So it's going to be a tough one. I wonder whether if Dirt Shark and RLK had a better first lap, they could have done something about it. It would be quite the story if England went through with 10 points compared to America's 5 points, and then America's went on to take the win, despite actually losing to England at Silverstone 27-21. We will find out, as the gaps are fairly large between each car and nobody has a penalty at the moment. We are slowly seeing this race edge out into a more static race. I think everybody's just going to stay where they are. Except Multi-Peretz is in the wall. Is that front wing damage? I think it is. Big front wing damage. It's not been a good race for him, but at least he'll probably go and get himself a point for fastest lap. So who are we going to see take the fight to Fred in the final? Oh, Multi-Peretz has got no grip. As Dirt Shark has gone for the pits, that's a little bit early. Not ridiculously early, and ROK follows him in. So they're both coming out on their medium tyres as expected. As Fred has going to set another fastest lap of the race. He is now up to P3. So it really has gone not so well for the European drivers in this race. It looks like it's going to be a 3v3 for the final to make it a bit fairer for those drivers from Team America. Otherwise they're going to be handed a big disadvantage, which might play into their favour given they very nearly they were looking at a good strong result maybe if they had an extra driver in that final, in that race at Silverstone. As Fred's closing up to RLK now. Is this going to be a new fastest lap from him? It is. It's an 18.45445. He's now within 2 seconds of RLK. He's now within a second nearly. So he really is on it at the moment. Now a bit of DRS, let's see what he can do. Is there going to be team orders? I think that looked a bit easy. I think there might have been some team orders there. on to lap 9 at the moment. So we're going to have 8 laps to go and cross the line. And I think it's pretty much a done deal for exactly what's going to happen in this race. And I believe the Italy-Austria game at the Euros is going to extra time. So if you're choosing to watch this over that, you haven't missed anything yet. In the same way that, although this race result might be a foregone conclusion, we will certainly have more action in the final, as it's a bit easier to follow around Silverstone and there's plenty of places to make a lot of overtakes. It's squirrely there, but nothing really to worry about. Fred really is driving very nicely. He's closing the gap to Dirt Shark. Oh, I've cursed him. Made a little mistake through there. But overall, it's some solid driving. And he is on his way for a solid result. And we've got the engine glitch, so we're going to go look at Dirt Shark instead. Into the third sector he goes. You might be able to see a car in the distance. I believe that's Multi Perez. Around the final corner now. To start lap 12 of 17. As we pile down the main straight. For these guys, it's all about conserving everything that they can. Not overdoing any corner. Don't risk anything on the curbs. They know they're going to be taking the win from here. So it's going to be a difficult one for the final. And it's going to be a 3v3, I believe, in the final. So Dirt Shark is being caught a little bit by Fred, but he's cruising out front. He's got in a rhythm. And he's clearly ready to go for the final. He's catching Mati Peretz now to put a lap on him. On lap 13 of 17. we're going to get into the final. I believe this race might actually even be longer, potentially, than the 200% distance race, as we have been streaming for 3 hours and 3 minutes already. We are yet to have our grand final. I wonder if Fred can catch him though. Might be good fun for me to have a bit of a race with Fred. I haven't really got a wheel to play on the PlayStation, but he certainly is a very quick driver. Be good fun to have a 1v1 with him and race with Simo at some point. But my Direct Drive SimiCube 2 does not like the PlayStation, unfortunately. Gap's down to 5.6 now, so Fred is he's getting there, but I don't think he's really gonna want to make a pass. I think he'll just want to stick behind Dirt Shark and consolidate the position that they're in. He said he wanted his teammates to be up there a bit more. Well, they've certainly done that. Now they're in a 1-2-3 position at the moment. Start lap 15 now. It's going to be Dirt Shark looking to take the win here. The gaps and intervals have really increased between the drivers. So there's not been as many on-track battles, but hopefully there will be in the final. And this is turning into some kind of an endurance event anyway, given how much these guys are actually have been racing. But it doesn't feel like it as much because they'll have raced for so many. They've raced for different tracks. They will they'll have raced at their home track twice, and they'll have raced at somebody else's track twice. Their 4 matches. In this case, the Americans are racing at the Europeans track, and the Europeans are racing at home. Penultimate lap now. I'm going to ride with Fred. The engine glitch is happening, so we won't be racing with Fred anymore, as much as we would like to. So it's going to be Pova, Heppy and Brooke in the final versus the Americas, I believe. So it'll be Dirt Shark, Fred and RLK. I think the final order there will be Fred, Pova, Heppy, Dirt Shark, Brooke, RLK. That's my prediction for the final order of that race. I can predict the order of this race fairly well, I think. I think it's going to be Dirt Shark, Fred, RLK, Emilio, Graham and Mutsi Peretz in that order. But that's because we're all about to start the last lap. And the gaps are quite large. I don't think they'd pay out odds on that. And it looks like Italy have finally scored to get past Austria in extra time. So if we have any Italians in chat or anybody supporting Italy in a sweepstake or something, then you'll be pleased to know they have scored I'm surprised it took them so long given how they were playing before. So that was a good omen for Team Europe. Oh, and it was a good goal as well. But now we'll see that Fred is actually only 4 seconds behind now. He really has put the hammer down. Oh, the engine glitch has stopped happening now, so that's always good. So we'll ride with Fred for a little bit. So he really is going for it at the moment. And we'll watch Dirt Shark as he comes across the line to take the win from Fred, who gets the fastest lap on the last lap. Of course he does. And here comes RLK to take home position 3 on the podium. And that will book the Americas a date with the English at Silverstone for the final, which will take place very shortly after this. Emilio Sub comes in 4th. Matty Peretz has finished 6th. And Graham is going to come home in P5 when he gets to the line. England versus Americas is your final, as we predicted. Final scores was Europe 18, 28 for Americas. So I'm just going to do some quick maths to add up the points differences for each nation, and then we'll find out who has the highest points difference. But there are the final results. Fred with the fastest lap in P2. So, we've done a bit of quick maths. And England finished with the most points overall with 113. The Americas finished with 99. And Europe finished with 88. And in terms of points for whether they won or not, England finished with 10 points. If we're going based on the football, 3 for a win, 1 for a draw, nothing for a loss. Then England won 10 points through the group stages. Europe won 1 and Americas won 5. So now we are going to see our final at Silverstone. And we hope to see an exciting battle. Unfortunately, there'll be no more for Team Europe. It just didn't quite come together for them today. They put up a good fight, and they were only 11 points behind Americas. They were much closer to Americas than Americas were to England at the end. But unfortunately, it was just not meant to be for them today. They will come back stronger for the next World Cup or the Euros if we decide to host that too, as an F1 kind of race. Maybe on the next game we'll get something cool for that. we're going to get underway in the final shortly. It is going to be a 3v3 as said. And Graham has put in the chat, always want to look for positives today. All I can say is at least I was consistently awful. That's harsh. You don't need to be harsh on yourself. It's quite tricky to perform on a high level through lots of different races on lots of different tracks as well. But as he says, all the best to the finalists. Yes, we wish all of our finalists good luck. And we hope that we can put on a good show for all of you watching, whether on YouTube or on Twitch, or if you're one of the European drivers and want to spectate the race in game, then we hope to put on a show. I believe we're going to go in reverse seed order again for the grid, although I can't actually see the grid just yet. I will let you know when we are loading into the menu, and then hopefully we will get this grand final underway. And in fact, we're only running 10 minutes over, which I think is really good, given how many races we managed to fit in without issues, as long as this one gets underway fairly shortly. So now all of those points are going out the window. And it's going to be back to the drawing board. Square one for the final. It's going to be a simple who can score the most points. Will it be a combination of the 3 Englishmen or the 3 drivers from the Americas? Should be made up of 2 Brazilians and 1 American. And I believe we are nearly good to go. We need 1 more person from the English team to pick the car, and then we're good to go. This is the actual final, and we're going to get underway very shortly by the looks of it. It is the grand final of a evening full of action, and I think we are, we're getting the signal for the drivers to begin readying up. So can anyone beat Fred? And can the English keep consistently up there with him? Or can Fred's teammates get closer to him? And how will that all add up? And the points get counted at the end. We are going to find out very shortly. As we wait for those to get underway. And I've just seen an incredible save in the Euros. Props to the Australian goalkeeper. The Austrian goalkeeper was really on it there. Just like our finalists will need to be on it for another 25% distance race at Silverstone. People are being told to ready up now. And we're going to get underway very shortly, I believe. Oh, and Italy have scored again. And that's got to be it, surely, now. In the game. The England guys are solid at Silverstone. This is going to be a good race. Yes, it is. I think Fred's going to be the quickest, but I think the England guys are going to be able to potentially get consistency when it matters. As if Fred wins from the 3 Englishmen, then his teammates, then that's still not going to help America's win the race. So we'll see. We'll find out. We're going to have how many laps it is to find out exactly how this race is going to pan out. We're going to find out in exactly 20 seconds time. When the lights are going to go out. Here we go. If Fred's fast, but Epi and Pova not far off. Yeah, I completely agree. It's going to be a close one. There's 5 lights on it, and away we go. Here comes RLK and Happy. Happy has taken the lead from RLK. Fred's looking to get past Brooke. Up the inside, can he manage it? He's backed out of it, he's taking it easy. I think we need Deepova to try and get ahead of Fred. I've got another Fred fan in chat. You've joined just in time. This is the 13 laps of Silverstone. This is the grand final. And this is going to dictate who wins the event overall. Can Brooks sneak up the inside? Not into Cops. There's actually Dirt Shark is looking to pass RLK, but they're going side by side nearly. They're just having to back out of it and be careful here, as they're all trying to take different lines through here. They'll close up. As we can watch, RLK has been passed by Dirt Shark, and Brooke and Fred are going at it. They really are going at it behind. So we've got a good view of this. How's Fred going to play this? Oh, he's been forced wide by his teammate. But they're still in it. And RLK's been passed by Brooke and Fred now. England needs Pova to try and get up there, I think. As Brooks going for the move on Fred. There's no contact. Can RLK stick a nose up the inside? No, there's not space. Pova's looking like he's ready to make a move now. They've all got quite a bit of ERS as it's only lap 2. So you're not going to get an advantage where you've saved ERS over somebody here. It's only going to be if you're deploying it and they're not. These are the battles up front. Happy seems to have gapped Dirt Shark just a little bit now. Just enough to stay at arm's length. It will give him the DRS if it stays like this when they get to the end of the Magnus Beckett's Chapel complex. And Brooke is all over the back of Fred at the moment. Oh, it's the slidey setup again from Brooke. But Fred's lost a lot of momentum from touching the grass there. Has Brooke got an opportunity here? Not quite. Pova's managed to get the opportunity on RLK, however. That's important for the race. It's looking, I would say, better for Team America so far. Yes, that's a pretty blistering lap. Oh, Brooks nearly lost it, but he's kept it going. Pover's going to take the inside now. Who's going to take it to Fred? I think Dirt Shark might be the saving grace for Americas here. He's really on it. He's nearly in the DRS of Heppy. Oh, Graham says, enjoy your commentary. Oh, thank you, Graham. Sorry I didn't see that sooner. Got caught up in the action at the front. I think Brook just needs to lower his rear anti-roll bar. Or just, yeah. It might help out with all of the sliding. I think it's the roll bar. Weird, YouTube app via TV can't hear commentary, but YouTube cast to TV I can. I have absolutely no idea how that one works. But at least on one of them you can hear the commentary, that's good. Dirt Shark's not making a huge impression on Heppy. He seems to have this under control so far. I say so far, but Brook is right there with Deepover now. And he's gonna need a bit more pace than this if they want to win the final. I think, if I'm right, it might be 1 point in it. No, I think it might be a draw here, actually. I'm not certain, but that's my guesstimate, that it's going to be a draw between these guys as it stands. Which would favour England because they've scored more points. Actually, it would come down to fastest lap at this point. Now that I think about it. So at the moment, I think Americas would be winning. Whoa! Brook got sideways again through there. Fred is beginning to catch those up front, but it's not a sizable advantage. He's definitely had a better couple of corners there. And now he might get a bit dirty air. Let's see how he deals with it through Copse. Pretty nicely. Yeah, absolutely on it through there. We had a brief yellow flag. Is that Brook who's lost it? That's going to bring the Americas a point extra, I believe. As Fred has now passed Dirt Shark. I think that may have been some team orders there. Show telemetry, please. Okay, yep, can do, can do, can do. Yeah, we'll get that on, and actually we'll get the tyres on. Even though I'm pretty set, yeah, now we're going for the same strategy. There you go, you can see what everybody's doing with ERS. And you can have a look at their inputs to try and learn from them. Especially from those like Fred and Dirt Shark. We're actually going to follow Fred to see if he can make a pass here. Does he lift through here? He does a little bit. Oh, but Heppy's picked up a time penalty. Oh, it's fallen apart for Team England here. Oh, that was almost certainly a corner cutting warning for Fred, though. But he is closing in on Heppy now. That penalty is certainly going to make it more difficult for England to get the win, and Heppy's bailed for the pits. That's about right, I would say. We're going to be almost, well, kind of half distance when we come across the line now. We're not seeing any major gap changes. But what we are seeing is an engine glitch, so we're going to change that. I think it's Paulito has discovered Twitch emotes and is having a lot of fun in the Twitch chat there. I don't blame you. Putting in your favourite Twitch emotes to chat is always fun. And everybody's going for the pits now. How's everyone on the limit? Perfect from the top two. You can watch the Steiermark GP. Is that what they're calling the Austria one? Because I know they're calling it something different. Then yes, I am watching the real F1 tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be good fun. I'm a Hamilton fan, so I hope Mercedes have got more race pace than they have qualifying pace. The fair play to Max, he drove very well today, and I think the Mercedes car just looks a bit rubbish to drive. But Heppy is going to come out in the middle of these two. Unfortunately, still with his penalty, so it's not going to stick. I would like to see rain in the F1 race tomorrow, though, just for a bit of excitement. And definitely not because Hamilton put on pole by like a second at last year's Styrian Grand Prix at all. Do you have a Helicam view? Yes, I do. This is the off-board camera. Oh yes, they are calling it Styria like last year. So they'll probably call it like one the Styrian Grand Prix and one the Austrian Grand Prix. Because that's what they did last year. Because, yeah, you're right, Graham. Styria's the area. I think we'd call it the county that it's in. But the Austrian equivalent of county. Brooks picked up a time penalty. Pover is pitted. So where's he going to cycle out? He's got a long way to go up the pit lane. This feels like an eternity. Heppy sets the fastest lap though. So he's showing a nice turn of speed. And Pover is going to come out in the gap behind these three. Yeah, this is the off-board view. The reason we don't use this because it's 30 FPS. I don't know why it's 30 FPS and not 60. When if you go to this view, it's 60 FPS and perfectly good. There might be a setting I have to swap around or something. But yeah, that's why we use the cockpit cam more frequently. And Austria have actually scored. So they're not out of it yet. Although they've got 5 minutes to bag another goal to make it carrying on. It's the same story here. It's going to be tough for England to overthrow America here. But it's still not over. They've still got a chance. I think the best thing they can hope for is that Heppy here manages to make a move on Fred. Yeah, Graham, it's to do with... It runs at 30 FPS in the off-board shots. Like, if you look at this, it looks like half as smooth as the on-board shots. If you look at the sceneries, especially. Yeah, it's nothing to do with your internet. It's just the way that the game runs the off-board cameras in 30 FPS and the on-board cameras in 60 FPS in spectator mode. So there's still line astern at the front of the field. So Heppy's getting closer. I'm liking the off-board shots even at 30 FPS. If we're getting people liking them, then we'll put some more off-board shots on for a bit. Now we've got Heppy charging down Fred. Not watched live like this before and been turning off everything in the house that uses internet. Yeah, that's like me when it comes to streaming. I tend to have as many devices not on the internet as possible. Just so that it protects the stream. Yeah, I'd like to see Heppy try and make a move on Fred. I'd like to see them do battle, because this is the closest we've seen anybody to Fred throughout the whole evening. So it'd be great to see them really have a battle for it at the front. And the stream is going to take over from the 200% races, the longest stream of the season. But it certainly has been an action-packed one, especially seeing as the race has been split up into effectively 7 25% races. So we've actually driven 225% of the full race distance, which I think is 52 laps, so that's 52, that's 104, 117 laps? Yeah, 117 laps of racing we'll have witnessed tonight. And there's only going to be one more at the end of this one. I don't think Heppy's quite got enough. They're even on ERS. It'll be nice to see Heppy getting the DRS and start causing Fred some problems and maybe have a move, even if it's just for pride, as on penalties there's no way he's going to gap Fred by... He's going to overtake Fred and gap him by over 3 seconds on one lap. Unless there's quite a bit of contact, which would result in a penalty, so wouldn't actually benefit anyway. So I have a feeling that this is going to result in a win for Americas, especially given the fastest lap. On the final lap now, into Copse for the final time. Nearly flat out for Fred. So actually, predictions-wise, we were fairly close. I said Fred would be up there, but then it would be Pova, Heppy, then Dirt Shark, then Brooke, then ROK, or something like that. And that's almost where it's ended up. Albeit Pova didn't quite have the pace we thought he might, and Heppy and Dirt Shark really upped their game, and Brooke has dropped it. But we haven't got time to look at that as Fred takes the win. Dirt Shark takes MP2. Oh, and Heppy dropped it on the last corner. And Fred actually got the fastest lap on the last lap as well. And Pova is going to take home 4th. And I think Brooke has had another follow-up spin through Maggots, Beckett's. How's this total up in points as it stands? I'm pretty sure Americas have won, as the other points don't count. Or rather, we started with 0 for the grand final. So I think they are going to take the win. But well done to all of those involved. It's been a really good show this evening. Lots of good driving. And lots of entertainment for everybody watching. As we go to the podium for one final time this evening. It is yet again Fred, who is undefeated this evening. As he takes yet another win. So I'm just waiting for some confirmation. That's the race result. 27.6 again. Not quite the 27.3 that he did earlier, but he won't care. It's fastest lap and he won the race. An incredible performance from Fred. Brilliant to see Heppy and Dirt Shark right there with him. And actually Pova really did have the pace as well. So it really was close between those guys. It was just how they fared at the end of that long race, long evening worth of racing. So that there is how it's going to end. I'm going to just wait for confirmation, but I am pretty sure we know the results. We just need confirmation of those. GG, well done all. I suppose I took a bronze in the World Cup. So, yeah, getting a medal in the World Cup, not many people can say that. And yeah, yes, definitely we should all thank Barks for a really different format that really did work very well and we all enjoyed. And I think it was probably quite fun for the drivers to take part in as well. So I think overall everybody's pretty happy with that. And we're just waiting for Barks to say something in the chat to just confirm our winners. But Fred seems pretty happy in the chat. I think everybody knows the result. It has been a seriously fun evening worth of driving. And although England took the most points, the most wins in the group stage, it's all about the final that counts. And we're going to have a look at some of the polls revolving around season 2 now that this is all over. We're equal on votes between starting season 2 in mid-July or mid-August. And people are thinking they would like definitely a Saturday or Sunday league. Sunday is winning that at the moment. So that is details that I can give you about the next events. I will probably be running some kind of preview testing or something to fill the channel with some content in between now and when the season starts. It will be on the new game, so we will definitely have all of the fun things to explore that brings. And it's really going to put a clean slate on us. Nobody will really know what to do with the setup. Although from what I'm guessing, it's going to be a reversal of the sort of setups you would run on the current game, as low rake seemed to be the concept you wanted to go for, but in real life it's obviously the other way around this season. So hopefully the game will follow that with accuracy. And here we have it, the announcement. It is England 20, America's 26. So Team Americas are the world champions of the UKSA's Better Racing League World Cup 2021. It has been confirmed. Well done to Team America. A thoroughly deserved victory from those guys. Commiserations to Team England and Team Europe. Both put on an incredible show as well as Team America this evening. And I think everybody is going to have had a bit of fun at some place or another throughout the evening. And I think everybody has earned a deserved break now from all of that racing that we've had. We had a 10 race season, which I think ran every week. And then we have this the next weekend after the season has finished. Now they will have a couple of weeks or a few weeks to relax, to enjoy, reflect, and prepare for season 2, which will be on the new game, which comes out on July the 13th if you've pre-ordered the deluxe edition, I believe, or July the 16th if you've ordered the normal edition or just want to buy it on release day. Then you can do that. I myself will be getting this game on the PS4 and the PC, so we'll definitely be hopefully sticking around to commentate for future races. I'm just going to promote my socials one last time this evening. This is where you can find me. And I am going to finish the stream there. We have had a very fun evening. And now it is time to wrap up the stream. I hope you have all enjoyed. I will bring out updates where and when I can of new streams, whether it's testing of some sort, just some new game content or something to fill the channel with some content for you guys while we await season 2. Thank you for the commentary. You're welcome. I hope you've all enjoyed. So, until next time, I hope you have a fun and safe time. I have been Liz Edwards, I have been your commentator, and I will see you all next time.